Now, in this distributed system, first of all, we have to understand, do we know about distributed or not? So, some of you, do you know, have you heard this word about distributed? Can somebody say, have you heard about distributed?
Sir, we have heard about distributed, but combined we haven't heard about yet.
Yeah, very good. That
Distrib-
is why I am asking about distributed only. What do you think what this distributed can mean?
so uh, like sir, for example, like in general terms, when we use like I distributed chocolates among kids, so in that context we know.
Okay, tell
Yeah,
me what happens in distributed chocolate.
it's like uh, so there is a source and there are some uh, what we can say like destinations where we can distribute the chocolates. We give each kid a chocolate. That's the thing.
Okay, okay. So it is something called distributing something among many advantage, taking advantage people. Okay. Here in distributed system, what will happen whenever there will be several computers connected in a network, and these these connected computers will cooperate and communicate among themselves, and they will look like a single system to the users. Let me repeat. Whenever you have a single computer may have certain limitation. Maybe if at all it is a server system or maybe very good configuration of the system, still it has a limitation that it can process this much amount of information, it has this much RAM, this much hard disk or whatever. So whenever we have such limitation, then what we think is, if we need more power, more computation power, more memory, these kind of thing requirement, then what we think is we have two options. First is we will use the same computer and improve the power of that particular computer. Maybe we will change the particular if we want to increase the computation power, we can change the processor. We can buy a new processor with good configuration, powerful processor, and we can replace the old one. If we need memory, we can buy new RAMs. If hard disk is required, new hard disk of better power, more power, and replace the old ones. In a way, it is something like replacing the old system with a new system, more powerful system. This was the first option. Second option is you will have your system, whatever configuration it was. Now you want to add some power to it. You will add a new computer in a network. Okay. Now along with your existing computer, you have one more computer, and you put this computer in a network, and certain kind of middleware, certain kind of software, whatever you want to, you will need, you apply on it, and then you get to see that you have one single system which is more powerful than the existing one. So here in distributed system, what will happen? You want to create a more powerful system, and the best thing that you will get in the several among the several advantages, you will see the best advantage is scalability. You can scale your system. Scaling means you can add new systems as per the requirements. Okay, so if today you need more powerful computation or more memory, you can add a new system, new computer, new node to your system. That is scalability. So this is possible in distributed system. So I am repeating from beginning. What happened in distributed system? A distributed system, according to the book, I haven't told you about the book. You will see in the syllabus, the book is of George Colodius. This was the name, I think. Let me write. It was George Colodius. Okay. The book is Distributed Systems Concept and Design, kind of thing. Okay. So in this book, what you will find is they are saying that whenever you have a networked computers which can communicate and coordinate their actions only by message passing, then they can be called as a distributed system. So if I have to write this definition, it will be something like: distributed system is one in which components located at networked computers located at networked computers which components located at network computers communicate and coordinate their actions only by message passing. So here we are talking about a network computer which will be able to communicate among themselves, but the only way they are communicating is by passing messages among themselves. Okay. Now what are these things? They have to pass the messages among themselves. We will go in detail later, but something that we have to understand here is these components of your distributed system. Suppose if I have to draw a diagram, they can be multiple nodes. Okay, they can be connected in a network, maybe a mesh topology, maybe a, what do we call, a ring topology, or a bus topology. Whatever topology we follow, they are connected in a network. Then the first thing that comes in mind, for what purpose we are going to use this kind of distributed system. Okay, why do we need such kind of system, and is there some problems which this distributed systems may face? Okay, so we will see certain things, what problems can be there. Let me talk about when do we need such systems. So any guess that you can make, when can we use such kind of system? Example, as I told, when we need more computation power or more memory requirement. When can be there such a huge memory requirement? Is it possible? Do we really need such kind of memory requirement or computation requirement? My question is, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here we are trying to discuss something about distributed system, where I am saying the computers are connected in a network, and these computers can communicate among themselves. Definitely, whenever we have a network, the nodes can communicate, but there are several other means of communicating. Here, these nodes will be able to communicate through message passing only. Okay. The other thing is, I was talking about the requirement. When will we need such kind of system, a distributed system? In a way, I want to have an example, okay, of such distributed system where we will need.
Sir, our computer labs.
In our computer labs.
Sir, when there is a need of resource sharing.
When there is a need of resource sharing.
Resource, like through email, sir.
Through email. Any other example?
Suppose there are many nodes connected in a network and one node is failure. In that case, there needs a distributed system such that to avoid that the failure doesn't affect that whole networking.
Okay. See, let me start from the beginning. When we think about our lab, in this case we have multiple computers, definitely connected with connected in a network, no problem. The thing is, if there is a situation in which we want to use all of the computers together for certain purpose, maybe we want more computation power or we want more memory to be shared. In that case, if we are using many computers, if not all, many computers together, then they may be called as a distributed system. But my question was the need of such distributed system. One of the answer was to share the resources. Definitely, sharing the resources is one of the need of a distributed system, where you can say, as you told, multiple computers are there, and these computers are having their own resources. Let me say computation power or memory. Okay. So what happens? The person A is working on node A, B, C, D and E. So A can perform its own operation locally, B can perform their own operation locally, all of them. Now there is certain resource on B only, which can be used by any of A, C, D, E as well. Right? Similarly, all of these nodes, they have certain resource which can be shared by others. Okay. Now, if this, usually what happens, if A wants to access this resource, let me call it R1 on B, then what will happen? A needs to know the address of B. Okay, it needs to know the location of the resource on particular address. Okay, and then if at all permission is given, then A can access the particular resource. This happens normally. But if it is a distributed system, in that case there will be a software, let me call it middleware, okay, which will be installed on all of the nodes, okay, and this middleware, a software suppose, which will somehow manage to know that these 5 nodes are in a distributed system. So these 5 nodes will be considered as a single system. Now this A, if needs to access the resource R1, it does not need to know the address of B. It can directly access R1. Internally, this middleware will find out the address, and the resource will be accessed from B and ported to A. However, A will not know that the resource has come from B. So something, it will be called as transparency, we will see later. But such kind of requirements, which is resource sharing, in that case this particular distributed system can be helpful. Now the other thing I will say will be this was the sharing among yourselves, means among the nodes, right? Now for a system which is outside, for it, this whole system, if appears as one single system, what is the benefit of such system? The benefit is very clearly visible, that if we are interacting with just A, then A has a limited power, maybe computation power or memory resources availability power. But if multiple nodes are connected here, in that case this power is multiplied by the number of nodes. So if K is interacting to one distributed system, this distributed system will have more power than any single system. Moreover, it will have the facility of adding a new node whenever more power is required. Okay. So let me give an example which will be of suppose your search engines. Have you heard about Google? Now, if you have heard about Google, you used to search something. Whenever you try to search something, all this information that the Google would have to maintain, or any search engine would have to maintain, I don't think one single node, no matter how powerful we can make today, can accommodate all that information and will be able to process all that information to show the search result to the user. Okay, so in place of using one more powerful system, what we do is we use multiple less powerful systems connected together, working together for certain goal. If at all it is a web search, whatever data we have to store, it is distributed among all the nodes. Now these nodes have partitions of the data. Also these nodes have their own computation powers. So later on, when you will see big data kind of things, you will see what happens there. The data is partitioned among the on the network, and what happens? You, in place of collecting all the data on one node and processing all of them, what you do is you send your code to all the nodes. And if you are searching something, suppose you are searching something, so you will not need to keep all the data on single system and search. You will pass the keyword what you are searching to multiple small nodes which have their own computation power. They will search among their own data, produce the result, and certainly a final result will be prepared, which will be sent back to the requester, right? So similarly, this is one example which is a web search, but several other examples are possible. Suppose, let me name some of them. Have you heard about banking, finance and commerce? Okay, another example can be suppose transport and logistics, where you have multiple nodes. All the nodes are having their information, they are uploading logistics. Okay, several other things like healthcare, education, and many other places where nowadays large amount of informations are coming. At all these places you will need a distributed system. Okay, so one example you have already seen the web search, where you can use. Another can be, suppose you have seen the games, okay, multiplayer games. What happens in these multiplayer online games?
Sir, many users play the same game at the same time.
Many users are playing the same game together, and for this you will have to manage, maybe suppose initially when this server was launched a few users were there, but later on number of users will increase, maybe in millions of users are there for your game, and for this purpose one single powerful system is not enough to work on it, because in this online games what will happen, you will have a client server kind of architecture, and continuous data is to be flown from the server to the users. So a distributed system with which can take care of different groups or different users, set of users, that will be very helpful. So in such cases this distributed system will be helpful. Now something that we have to understand here about a distributed system, that is there any kind of limitation, or what can I say, yeah, limitation will be a good word, but there is something difficulty in maintaining the distributed system. Okay, let me write difficulty in maintaining, that is a better word. Difficulty in maintaining distributed systems, what they can be. Okay, so something you have heard about distributed system till now. Can you guess some of the difficulties in maintaining a distributed system? Difficulties. Can you guess some of the difficulties in maintaining such kind of system? Okay, let me start by saying concurrency. Okay. Now these systems should be in a way which could allow concurrent users or concurrent transactions, I want to say. Okay. For this, these nodes will need to communicate among themselves. Okay. So for that purpose, these computers okay, concurrency, can it be a problem? I don't think concurrency will be a problem. What do you think?
Sir, it can be a problem, sir, because doing if somebody wants to do the different tasks, for example, if somebody is changing a value to like the value of constant a equal to 4, somebody is putting a equal to 6, but if somebody just if both of them are doing the same thing, then the values will be different and it might collide with each other and the value might get lost for someone. So concurrency, I think, might be an issue, sir.
Yeah, this kind of problem can be there, but still concurrency is a problem. We should consider it as a problem. Because of this reason, as you explained, that is a good thing. About whenever concurrent transactions are there, concurrent execution of some of the things are there on certain resources, concurrent use of a particular resource is being accessed. In that case, there will be certain issues, and in distributed system we need certain measures to take care of this concurrency. Definitely later on we will see what are the measures which have been taken for allowing this concurrency. Other thing is we don't have a global clock here. We don't have a no global clock. Let me write it. So if we don't have a global clock, it means there is all the nodes are having their own time, means time setting, I want to say. If at all it is 10:01, it may be 10:01 or it may be 10:02, kind of. So there is something you will see later. What happens? There is a clock which will have oscillators, and these oscillators at different location, they may vary in their oscillation. Because of that, if at all at one time period you have synchronized all of the system with the same time, but later on with time, after certain time you may find that the time of the two systems are not synchronized. So because of that, now see, after synchronizing, later on you find that it is not synchronized, and there is no global clock kind of thing that from where so that all the systems could follow the same timing. Let me repeat this particular thing. No global clock. This is something in our distributed system. We don't have a global clock. Why do we need a global clock? As suppose you want to perform certain transactions, and these transactions which are being executed on suppose T1 is being executed on node E, T2 is being executed on D, and T3 is being executed on C. In this case, you will find T1 is being executed on 10:01. T2, which comes after T1, will be executed. Maybe time is not synchronized still after T1, so it may be executed at 10:03. No problem. However, suppose it was not synchronized, and the time when here it was 10:01, it was 9:55, 59 I should be. So when it was 10:02, it was 9:59. So when it is 10:03, it is 10 o'clock, right? So after 10:03, executing T2 at 10:03, when T3 is going to execute, it is executing somehow a little before 10:03, maybe at 10:01 or 10:02, whatever. So this thing should not be allowed. If at all we would have a global clock, that these computers are not having a clock, right? This is being executed on a particular time from here, this is also taking the time from here, so no problem. But that is not the situation. However, one thing which is possible is synchronization among themselves. We will try to synchronize them with property periodically. That is a possibility, but that is an extra overhead of this particular distributed system. Till now, we are trying to have this kind of synchronization algorithms, and we are synchronizing periodically. That is the thing we are doing. Other thing can be the failures. Suppose, let us talk about failures. Suppose there are certain nodes. All these nodes are together a distributed system. Now we understand one node is a computer, and a computer while working it may fail because of certain issues, hardware issues or software issues or any reason. It may fail. So whenever one of the node in a network is failing, then there may be certain issues. The first thing is the resource which was being made available by A is no longer available to the other nodes or to the outsiders. Okay. So this kind of things are possible where you are able to access some of the resources and you are not able to access a few of the resources which are for which the system has some of the partial failure has occurred. Okay. So now in this case, in case of this distributed system, you can see that partial failures can occur. Because of this partial failure, sometimes you will see it as a good thing that say only even if a part of system has failed, but still the system is running, and sometimes you can see it as a burden. Oh, that one part of the system has failed, and but still other are running, and since this was a section and this was a portion of the system where some important computations were being done, and if it is not working, then the outsiders may get some wrong results. In that case, this failure is critical, right? So how to handle these failures, this is a separate topic. We will see these failures can be handled in different ways. Definitely replication will be one of the important things that you will see here in distributed system. You will see different characteristics of distributed system later on. We have till now we have seen a distributed system, some examples, and these kind of things. What are the difficulties in maintaining this distributed systems? So now, till now, if you have some questions, if you have some confusion you want to ask, please go ahead. No questions?
No, sir.
So let me talk about this particular thing, distributed system, right? So Rohit Negi.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think? What is a distributed system?
Distributed system is a collection of computers located in networks where they can communicate passage of with passing of message only.
Hmm. Okay. Let me ask Aryan Beast.
Yes, sir.
Uh, when can you use such kind of distributed system?
When a single computer cannot handle that much data and large amount of data, like when different people are searching the Google, there are a lot of people which are searching. So Google have to make their own servers at different places, but at the end they have to get data from a single place.
Okay. Okay. So can I ask about failure to Rishabh Kumar?
Yes, sir.
So what do you think? What is this failure?
So the failure occurs when it executes multiple transactions at the same time. Then it is difficulties in the distributing system.
Okay, Rishabh, I am asking. Suppose a failure occurred for one component or one node of a distributed system. What does it mean? What are the consequences? What will happen?
So if at a particular node, if there is a difficulty, then it affects the next node and then the affect the previous node and next node also. Then the message will be not transferred from one node to the another node.
Okay, Rishabh. So let me ask the same question to Amit Kumar. Amit Kumar, we are talking about the failures. What is this partial failure? What does this partial failure mean? Amit Kumar. Amit Kumar. Amit Kumar, are you there? Okay, we will go for Aniket. Aniket, what do you think? What is this partial failure?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Aniket.
Yes, sir.
So we are thinking about partial failures. What do you think this partial failure is?
So partial failure, sir, it meant like if there are many computers and one of them fails, does not work properly, then we can say that it is partial failure. Not the whole system is failed, but the component one or two components fails, then we can call it partial failure.
Okay, Abhishek Raj.
Yes, sir.
So you have already heard what is partial failure. One of the system is failing. What are the consequences of failing of one system? Failing of one node among the nodes of the system. What are the consequences? What will happen if partial failure occurs?
If partial failure is occur, then it may be difficult in troubleshooting because the whole system is distributed and there is a difficulty in troubleshooting if one, and it may also affect the other node in the system.
Okay, the same question to Dipesh Gupta.
So in case of partial failure, like if, as Aniket said, like only few components or maybe one component fails in the distributed system, so it might affect the other components or might not affect other components.
If at all it is affecting, then how?
In communication or
It's okay. So you were talking about the partial failure. What happens in partial failure? One of the system, as you already said, one of the system or some of the system may fail, but still the system is running. Okay, the rest of the part of the system, rest of the components of the system is are running. So system is running, but still some part of the system is not working. Some components have failed. Now, because of this failure, because of this partial failure, the resources which were on those particular nodes of the system, they are not accessible or not available now. So, because of that, the services that the distributed system is providing, it may be defective. Maybe because of certain reasons, the output that they are showing, or the output of the distributed system which is coming, it may not be as correct as it would have been with the whole system working properly. So that may be the consequences of failure. So definitely we should be able to handle the failures in the distributed system, and we will see these things in later chapters, later lectures, how we will handle the failures. For now, today we will leave this thing on this particular topic only. Today we have seen something about distributed system, an introduction to distributed system, where you have seen that several computers, one computer can be called as a one node. So several computers connected together for one single goal. They are providing certain kind of services. When we are talking about distributed, these computers need not be, there is no limitation in the distance between these nodes. These nodes can be as much distant as possible. They can be within a room, or they can be across the continents, no problem. But still, with the help of particular softwares, they will be considered as distributed system. So we have also seen some of the examples. We have seen there can be certain issues that we should handle. Later on, definitely we will try to see some more things in this distributed system. Maybe what are certain more challenges in this distributed system, as we have seen the failures are there, but we can also understand that these nodes these nodes may not be homogeneous, right? Maybe the hardware can be different, operating systems can be different, the programming languages they are using, they can also be different. So that can be heterogeneity, right? So we will see these things in next lecture, that what are the challenges. There can be the systems, the nodes can be heterogeneous. In that case, how middleware can be helpful. These kind of things, other things, other possible challenges also we will see, including this concurrency failure and these kind of things. Okay, for now today's class is over. I believe you will have the next lecture again tomorrow. Is it so? Tomorrow at 9 o'clock again you will have this same class for distributed system. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So let us meet again tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Till then, go through the book. Okay? Have you understood which book it is? Have you understood which book it is? It was Distributed System Concepts and Designing, kind of something. It was by George Collierius. Okay. So till then, thank you. We will meet again tomorrow 9 o'clock. Any questions?
No,
So
sir.
can you
Sir,
please
what
recall
about
the name of the
attendance?
book?
Oh, attendance. Okay, let us have attendance. So roll number 1, 2.
Present, sir.
Present, sir.
Okay, roll number 1.
Present, sir.
Okay. Roll number 2.
Present, sir.
Okay. 3.
Yes, sir.
So roll number 3 is present. 4. 5.
Present, sir.
Okay. 6.
Present, sir.
7. 8. 9.
Present, sir.
Okay, 8 is present. 9.
Yes, sir.
9 is also present. No. 9 is absent. 10.
Present, sir.
11.
Present, sir.
Okay. 12.
Yes, sir.
13.
Present, sir.
14. 15. 16. 17.
Present, sir.
18. 19. 20. 21. 22.
Present, sir.
23.
Present, sir.
Okay. So the roll number which are absent are roll number 4, 7, 9, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19.
Sir, 16 is present, sir.
Okay, 16 is present. 17 is absent. 17? Okay, 17 is absent. 18 is absent, 19, 20, 21 are absent. Okay. So thank you. We will meet again tomorrow 9 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.